I want to talk about arrogant women and the destruction of men because we are living through multiple generations of extremely arrogant women. And I don't believe that people are aware of the dynamic that is taking place, the interaction between the different variables, and how destructive it really is. Let's have a conversation about haughty women and how they're destroying men. When did women first start competing against men, and when did men stop being allowed to compete against women? When did this change take place? So now you have women coming forward and saying, we're in charge, and it's like, no, you've just accused everybody of sexual harassment and gotten them fired, okay? So now you have women coming forward and saying, we're in charge. No man will come near you, and no man will come near these women. The only man who will come near these women is a fool who is about 20 years old. Nobody wants to hang out with an aggressive, arrogant, abusive woman. Because if we don't deal with this situation, it will be the end of Western civilization, and it's happening right now, okay? So what's happened, and what's going on, because if we don't, it will be the end of Western civilization? This is the final stand for Europe. Okay, either they recover from the situation that they're facing right now, which is the immigrant crisis, and so-called leaders like Angela Merkel, right? Either they deal with this problem, or Macron in France, or Theresa May, or they recover from the situation that they're facing right now, which is the immigrant crisis. You are familiar with Britain, right? How did you guys elect Theresa May? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way. I really am on the same page as you when it comes to wondering how the United Kingdom managed to vote for Brexit while also electing someone named Theresa May. Who is the most effeminate person that you could possibly get, if you know what I mean when I say this? When people put forward pictures of someone like Angela Merkel or Theresa May or Elizabeth Warren, it's like, I'll be honest with you about it. Okay. They're like, what a fantastic female leader she is. I want to throw up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a disgusting, like it's an insult. It's like you're taking some saggy, broken, crippled, doting fool and saying, oh, people really can't get any better than this. I literally feel like I want to throw, like, oh my god, like, turn it off, you know what I mean? You scan a healthy person next to one of those people, and they will shrink, they will cower, they will wilt, and they will not further, okay? You have got to be kidding me. I find it repugnant when people don't behave in accordance with their physical stature. I don't like it when a sickly, diseased person walks into a room like they're in charge, and healthy, strong, alert, confident, intelligent people are like, oh my god, it's that old 70-year-old woman who has a lot of money through her family connections. I find it disgusting when people don't behave in accordance with their physical stature. In addition to her immorality and her rottenness, wow, that is really impressive. No, that is not impressive at all, and there is so much more to it than that. The arrogance of the women is the main problem. The little big man syndrome is a result of men giving in to women who overplay their hands, complain, and whine, and weak men who want to get together with women who want to be pleased. If you want to know how it happened, you already know the answer. Generation after generation of men gave in to women who overplayed their hands and complained and whined. The women who agreed that, yes, dear, a woman could be an effective leader just as well as a man. If you're a woman and you're watching this video and you want to be a leader, go be a leader. I'm not saying that an individual woman can't be a leader, because I'm not saying that she can be a leader. Rather, I'm saying that I'm not saying that she can. I'm not trying to tell you that you can't do that by any means. Of course you can. What I mean to convey is that we are the creators. This entire generation, as well as multiple generations of incompetent women, are putting themselves forward as if they are the leaders that we should look to. Okay, now maybe some of you are hearing this and you are thinking that this doesn't matter because being a leader is a symbolic kind of position that doesn't matter. To let you know, if a woman wants to step forward and say she's a leader, that's fine, and in many instances it's completely acceptable. I would agree with you, but I think it's important to set an example for kids. Patterns that we set are the patterns that they follow, so generations of men will continue to give in to women because of their sexuality, generations of women will continue to use their sexuality to influence men, generations of boys will continue to be raised by women who have this arrogance, and so on. You know, there's a great thing about being a man when you come across another man, and that is that you can tell pretty quickly who's who, and you can tell if somebody wants to give ground to another man based on their financial status. This is one of the great things about being a man when you come across another man. And there is one thing that men are unable to do. So let's say that the younger men defer to the older man because he has higher status and more money. He has more power and he has more control, but physically, the older man is just pitiful, whereas the younger man is very fit, strong, and healthy. Do you follow what I'm saying? I mean, what the hell do you think is going to take place here? When the older, weaker man comes up to the younger, healthier men on the construction site and starts giving orders, do you believe that the younger, healthier men are supposed to physically capitulate to the older man? In other words, when he comes up to them on the construction site and starts giving orders, are they supposed to take a step back, look down at their shoes, and start to stutter and make excuses, or are they allowed to stand their ground, look their boss in the eye, and respond to whatever it is that he's saying, whatever the situation, what's allowed to happen is? Are they supposed to take a step back, look down at their shoes, and start to stutter and make excuses? Or are they allowed to look their boss in there, because depending on your answer, it kind of determines where you are on this issue. For example, if your answer is that they should show respect to the boss, then you have a problem in the sense that you don't physically carry yourself with the stature that you deserve. You are substituting some external judgments that people have put on this, such as the size of the man's helmet determining the man's strength. In other words, you are saying that the man's strength is determined by the size of his helmet. You can have a small weak man with a large giant helmet, and you can have a large strong man with a small little helmet, so it doesn't determine the situation, and if you let it determine the situation, then you become ill, and if you become ill, then you might make a lot of money, right? No, it doesn't. You can have a small weak man with a large giant helmet, and you can have a large strong man with a small little helmet. You have a good chance of advancing in the company as a result of the fact that you are going to kiss the boss's ass and you are going to bow down to a number of symbols. So this is how unworthy, weak, foolish, and emotionally unstable men and women get to present themselves as leaders, champions, and winners because they have more money, and the reason why they have more money in most cases is because they've compromised themselves and their integrity. You know, people can make more money on welfare than they can working full-time, right? So this is how unworthy, weak, foolish, and emotionally unstable men and women get to present themselves as leaders, champions, and winners because they have more money. The typical mother raising her child alone could collect approximately $60,000 in welfare benefits each year, but nobody is going to acknowledge the fact that she is capable of working full-time. She is not worth that. She is not worth $30,000 a year working full-time. She is not worth $20,000 a year working full-time. However, she is worth $20,000 a year working full-time if she is receiving welfare and participating in the various programs that are available to her. Why is it that a hardworking, honest person will make less money than a dishonest liar and thief, and what do you think will happen? She can easily rack up about $60,000. How is that possible? How is it that a dishonest liar and thief can make more money than a hardworking, honest person? If you want to set up a system that functions in such a way, how about we take the money from the hardworking, honest person and give it to the person who believes they are entitled to it regardless of the circumstances? You are probably wondering what the differences are between the various groups of people and how we can decide who should sit where. You have probably heard of something called a victim hierarchy before. If so, you should know that the victim hierarchy is comparable to an entitlement hierarchy, which is pretty much similar to the victim hierarchy. Therefore, the more of a victim you are, the more entitled you are, and the more appropriate it is for you to complain about others and expect rewards from the system. The more of a victim you are, the more appropriate it is for you to complain about others. This is a FEL system that has been set up. It is a weak male child system that has been set up by men to take care of the invalid, those who have been botched, those who are stupid, those who are weak, those who are unworthy, and those who are unable to work properly. If you do this for many generations, the people who belong to it will eventually come to believe that they are superior to other people. Other men will not look up to and respect men who behave in this manner because those men are the ones who have capitulated the most to the corrupt system. These men start acting as though they are the strongest, fittest, and healthiest men in the room. However, other men do not respect men who behave in this manner. They might be impressed by their wealth and their ability to get things done with their money, but they don't necessarily respect the men who have that wealth. This begs the question, is what people have and what they earn an indication of who they are and what their status is? The answer to this question is no, especially in today's society. That is the issue, and that is where you have disincentivized the strong, healthy man and where you have incentivized the fat, crippled, obese liar. Those are the two groups that you have incentivized. Therefore, this is what you receive. You must know quite a few males. I believe that there are many good men, particularly younger men. I believe that they are of the mindset that this is a corrupt and unfair system, that men are treated unfairly, that they are persecuted and manipulated, and that women and people who don't want to work but claim victim status are, in fact, promoted through entitlement above the honest, hard-working people. I think that this is the case. It's not your work that will get you ahead in the workplace, it's who you make friends with, the social preferences that you put out there, and the groups that you associate with. You already know this to be true, so there's no need to deny it. You'll advance in your career based on who your friends are and the social preferences that you put out there. In other words, if you want to be a doctor but you don't mind working under those conditions, you should go ahead and pursue your goal. Or, suppose you want to be a doctor, but once you become one, you find that your advancement is not based on your capacity to, help people and cure people, but rather on your capacity to, form political relationships within your organization. In this case, your aspiration to be a doctor would be rendered meaningless. Move forward and educate yourself, then. It's the same with any profession. If you want to make a lot of money at writing versus if you want to be a good writer, those are two very different goals. I mean, if that's what you consider being the definition of being a good doctor, and then go right ahead. If you would like to be really powerful, effective, and capable in life, there are two different approaches you can take. Or would you rather have a lot of money at the end of your life? Because those two things aren't necessarily the same thing at all. You can make money through a variety of different means, but you can only become strong and capable by engaging in activities that are significantly more challenging. So that's what's going on. All right, you've got 100 people who are messed up, weak, stupid, and scared looking at one person who is strong, fit, and healthy and saying that the future of society needs to be run based on our needs. The lack of education that we have is to blame for our inability to hold down a job. Because we need a free living wage and free healthcare, naturally, and because we are going to have to shame and exploit that one person endlessly in order to get the resources necessary to take care of 100 people, we are going to have to tax that one person endlessly. And if you are not in agreement with that, then let's put it to a vote, and let's see how those 100 people vote. Let's see how that one person votes, and we already know the answers to all of the questions that begin with this is not G. I wonder what is going to take place. This is what is taking place. Look at our current circumstance. So now the question becomes, what should you, the individual, do you know? And it is a difficult question because on the one hand you have to be truthful and honest and have some personal integrity. And on the other hand, if everybody is stealing from a corrupt system and you don't, you're at a huge disadvantage, and I believe that this is the situation that good men are facing right now. When you come across one of these people who is willing to cheat the system, they will be willing to put forward their victim status so that they can, be entitled to resources, and they don't understand that they don't have a right to those resources. They are literally and figuratively selling out their own integrity and effectiveness, which, if you're anything like me, makes you feel sick to your stomach. Therefore, I believe that this is the situation that men are currently facing, as well as the situation that people who are good, honest, and hardworking are currently facing. I believe that this is the challenge that we need to overcome in order to triumph over the weakness, laziness, and dishonesty of the majority of our people. The fact that most people are unaware that there is no such thing as a free ride is extremely frustrating. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Everything has a price. Someone had to work for it, it had to be made, and someone had to construct it. If you are the character that you don't mind getting things for free when someone else had to work for them, then I don't want anything to do with you and I don't want any association with you. If the idea that somebody else is getting that thing for free simply means that you've taken it away from somebody else, then the idea that somebody else is getting that thing for free simply means that you've taken it away from somebody else. It's like the guys are putting themselves forward and saying things like, "No, I'm smart. I'm earning more money while doing less work." To which the response is, "No, you're cheating all the hardworking people. You're stealing their money, and you're pretending like you've earned it. You only have the reward based on lies and entitlement," and when I say you, I don't mean you in particular, I mean that this is the modern character of man. You don't have the strength that comes with you knowing how to do something because all you have is the reward based on lies and entitlement. They take it and run with it and think, "Yeah, I'm a winner," and the majority of men or many men do the same thing. Well, of women actually, yeah, of women, and the majority of men or many men do this. I am a champion, and it seems as though no man looks to you as a leader. In fact, you don't even look to yourself as a leader, so you can't possibly do that. Don't be okay, don't compromise and sell out your values just to get extra fat. It's a difficult message to deliver, because what's going to end up happening is that the individual is going to keep getting fatter, keep wanting more and more, free resources getting further and further away from the character that they need to develop in order to become strong, until eventually they have to rely exclusively on the kindness of strangers, and those strangers would be the people that they stole from, right? You know what I mean. So I don't feel like helping them out. I don't see it as a viable future. I don't see it as a workable system. The people who won't take care of themselves, let them go by the wayside. Don't take care of them, let's separate ourselves from them. Therefore, I don't feel like helping them out. I don't see it as a viable future. I don't see it as a workable system. You can tell the lazy, dishonest, confused, stupid, weak, sick people who just want a free handout from the good, hard-working, honest people who want to do a good job if you try to recognize who's who and what's what in this situation and support them. If you come across dishonest, weak people who are manipulating the system and destroying the future, you should not support them. On the other hand, you should recognize honest, hard-working people when you come across them.